Oh, dude, I found this beautiful video on Instagram the other night, and I've been meaning to show it to you because I know it'll really resonate with you. I can't believe that human hands made this.
May I enter heaven?
No, because you use too many PTO days during a critical business cycle.
It gives me hope for humanity to know that it's still possible to create such beautiful art.
I mean, sorry, what?
It was beautiful.
I mean, first of all, it was harrowing. It was a video of a person who couldn't go to heaven because they took PTO during a busy work time, and no one should even have to think about the idea of one of their coworkers taking off. And secondly, it was made by a computer, clearly.
Dude, this actor looks exactly like Jesus.
I mean, like, how closely are you looking at it? And also, I don't want to get into it, but exactly like Jesus, dude. Welcome to Number Goes Up, the business podcast run by two men who kind of know what they're talking about. I'm Kingsley Nlewedim, joined as always by my co-host, W. Tanner Kirk. How's it going, Tanner?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thanks for having me on the cast.
It is part of our contractual agreement.
Yeah.
And I respect those.
Yeah.
So you've been champing at the bit to tell me about videos online, and I want to know why.
I'm tired, boss.
Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, I don't know about you, but more recently in my various algorithmic feeds, like YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, etc., I just feel like I've been encountering a lot of AI generated content recently.
Oh, yeah. I feel like it's got to be at this point 10, 20% of every video that I see is like some kind of Gemini VO generated Uncanny Valley nonsense.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like weird Uncanny Valley videos of cats, or also just like very generic stoic statements or something like that, with like a very generic robot voice with the fast punchy subtitles.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like it's really been taking over more and more recently. And so I've been doing some research into this phenomena because it really got me thinking, like, I don't really want to see this, right? And yet I watched so much of it.
So you do kind of want to
Exactly.
see it.
I find it hard to look away from in a weird way, right? And it also got me reflecting on the good old days of the internet, where at least I feel like I remember back in the day when you had your YouTube account and you would subscribe to channels, YouTube used to just show you your subscription feed in chronological order. So like the videos that were posted by the creators that you decided that you wanted to see in the order that they were posted in. And then somewhere along the line, I kind of had this epiphany moment that stopped happening. It got me thinking about like the good old days of the internet. I would say the glory days of YouTube specifically. We didn't know how good we had it, Kingsley.
Dude, can I just go into Kingsley's old man corner for a minute? Remember when you used to go on the computer and you would go on a website? When was the last time you found a new website?
Like typed in a website?
Yeah, you go on www.newthing.com.
That's actually a really good point that I don't know.
Yeah, because like you were talking about the algorithmic stuff. I feel like the ability to discover things organically has almost been stripped of us, in that like I'll go up to somebody and be like, hey, you hear about this new thing? And they're like, yeah. But we heard about it on different platforms, but like an algorithm has decided that everyone will see this thing.
Yeah, exactly, right? And like when did that, or at least it got me thinking, when did that happen? When did that dynamic change where now I am so comfortable and I expect to just be served content? I don't think about what content I want to watch. I just pull up YouTube Shorts and whoa.
Yeah, they just kind of, it's a trough.
Yeah, exactly. And like we were saying earlier, like half the time I feel like I'm not enjoying the content that I'm watching, but then I just swipe up hoping that the next one is going to be better. So anyway, I started kind of like going down this rabbit hole. And I mean, this AI content online these days is referred to AI Slop. And so it got me thinking about, why am I seeing so much AI generated content, period? And why am I seeing so much AI generated content if I don't want to watch it?
Yeah.
And it, you know, it got me wondering, like, why does it, there has to be a reason why people are doing this, right? Like there has to be some sort of bottom line that people are pursuing.
Yeah.
So I went down the rabbit hole, I did some research, and I want to take you through a little trip down memory lane to talk about AI Slop, the attention economy of online content, and where I think that AI generated content could potentially be going.
Okay.
And I want to hear what you have to think about it.
Yeah, I'd love to go on a journey.
Yeah, all right. So the year, Kingsley, is, according to my notes, the early 2000s. So
what a good year.
Netflix became a thing around this time in the early 2000s. And so Netflix, even before they started their streaming service, were already utilizing an algorithm to recommend DVDs for you to rent on their website. Going back, I think we can largely attribute Netflix to being like the major pioneer of this concept of using an algorithm, and AIs are essentially a form of an algorithm, right? Like LLMs. So they're the pioneer of using an algorithm to recommend their customers content that they might like to see, right? So in the past, you would go to a physical DVD rental store and a guy or gal would recommend you DVDs. But so Netflix pioneered this idea where you go to the website and they, based on what you've rented, they asked if you liked it or not, and then they used an algorithm to suggest you other videos that you might like. That's how I saw Grave of the Fireflies for the first time, actually. And then in 2006, I didn't know this, Netflix launched a public competition to encourage third parties to create an algorithm that was better than their proprietary algorithm at successfully recommending content to their customers.
I mean, I guess that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that happened in 2006. And I think, I mean, back in the time, that's like, it's a really exciting development. I think it's a super smart idea. Go figure, some guy won. He got $1 million. And so, but essentially we can see that Netflix cracked this code, or they figured out that they can use algorithms to predict content that their customers might like to watch.
Right.
So even before they did streaming, Netflix was already kind of starting to acclimate us to getting used to this idea that the computer or the internet will show us what we want to see versus us going out of our way to kind of find the content that we want to see.
And removing the job of like the curator, because even if you're not going to a video rental store, if you were watching TV, like somebody is making, or groups of people are making decisions of like what shows to put on what channel and in what order.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're giving you like a guide, like you go and get a TV Guide magazine and you flip through it and like choose what shows you want to watch.
I do remember my grandparents had TV Guide.
Well, how else are you going to know what's on the TV?
Yeah, exactly.
You're walking around blind.
Yeah.
You got nothing.
I do remember my grandma would be like, oh, Samurai Jack is coming on at 7.
That's incredibly sweet.
So that happened around 2006, and then Netflix launched their streaming service in 2007. So we can see how like around the early 2000s, mid-aughts.
Yeah, the mid-aughts.
Right? Streaming starts to come into play. And YouTube launched their core recommendations technology in 2008. So when YouTube was first launched, it didn't have any sort of recommendation-based algorithm.
Yeah.
You just had to search.
Yeah.
And then they would show you like based on keywords. And then as well on social media, we have Facebook, which was, especially at the time, the major player in social media. And I remember back in the day as well, when you went on Facebook, you would just see, what was it called? Your wall or your feed?
Yeah, your wall. Or your wall was your page.
Yeah, your page.
I'm just gonna like become older and older. The wall was your page, I think, and then the is it a timeline or a feed?
Timeline.
Yeah. So we just have like all of the stuff your friends posted.
Yeah, and it was called a timeline because it was in chronological order.
Yeah.
And so whatever your friends posted, you saw in the chronological order that they posted it. But I couldn't find like a pinpoint and an exact date, but I believe it's somewhere around 2010. Facebook started to implement a news feed that kind of slowly over the course of a few years merged more and more with your timeline.
Yeah. I remember at the time, everyone I knew hated it. Because you were expecting to see all your friends' stuff, and then you're like, why is this video of like a person cleaning a rug in the middle of like my friends' posts about like what they did this weekend?
Exactly. Or it's like some news article headline that makes you feel angry or scared or sad in a deeply personal way.
Yeah.
But that's a good point too, because I do remember being like, what is this? Like, I didn't want to see this. I didn't ask to see this.
Yeah, and you would go and you would like type in, how do I get it back? And then you would like have to go through a bunch of menus, and then they kept making it harder and harder to get through. And now I think I'm not on Facebook, but you can't do it probably.
Probably not. And I mean, so that's the thing I realized as I'm going down this kind of research rabbit hole about when all of these different platforms and services started implementing recommendation features, is that I really feel like it was this slow, almost boiling the frog strategy. It didn't happen all at once. There wasn't really this like one day where you went on Facebook and it was nothing but AI Slop generated content, right? It was like this slow acclimation to being served content that an algorithm suspects that you would like to click versus something that you've literally signed up to see.
Right.
So that's kind of like the history of algorithmically served content, suggested content, right?
Yeah.
And then I would say the big defining moment was in 2013. YouTube began to deprioritize showing you your subscription feed on the homepage.
Yeah. And like, I'm just like imagining being somebody who's like, for instance, subscribed to the GLOBIS Insights channel on youtube.com,
hypothetically,
who desperately wants to see this content and can't view it because, you know, it's on a secondary page. And, you know, if only someone would click the like button and maybe leave a comment
and hit the bell.
Yeah, to get the algorithm to deliver that stuff instead of just getting the thing you asked for.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Listen, we got you guys.
Yeah.
And if you hit the bell, you don't even have to think about it. Your phone will let you know when we post a new video.
Which is always good and what we all want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if you remember this, but I do have a vague memory of around 2013, which is the year that I graduated high school. But I do remember realizing that, wait a minute, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big YouTube fan. I've watched YouTube a lot throughout my childhood and adulthood, but I got very accustomed to remembering the faces of the content creators that I subscribed to, daily content, and knowing that it would be there in the subscription feed.
Right.
And then I think for me, the big catalyst moment is when YouTube really started to de-emphasize showing users their chronological subscription feed and start emphasizing more and more for you content or like recommended content.
Right.
Do you remember that impacting you at all?
Oh, I mean,
maybe impact is a little dramatic.
No, impact is the right word because I would say, like you said, it's a boiling the frog thing, but it also began, it was the beginning of like some kind of arms race where now everything, instead of being organized in a way that's like, we've got a title that describes what this video is and like the name of the person who made it and like a thumbnail that shows the video or something about the video. It created an arms race where it incentivizes the contractors who are making the YouTube videos to make the thing look like it will get the most, or to be the most attention-catching thing.
Absolutely.
So it's like, we have to put a bunch of red arrows on there, and everyone has to be like shiny and weird looking, and all the titles have to be in all caps, and everything's yelling at you all the time.
Yeah, totally, exactly. So like, not only did YouTube as a platform really changed the way that they were serving their content to the audience. But like you just said, creators had to, because of that, creators really had to adjust. And the whole content creation game, I think, changed. In this way, it felt almost overnight into you have to focus on, like, in the industry, we call it packaging, right? So your title and thumbnail are your packaging. And I feel like around this time too, I mean, there were professional YouTubers and content creators, but I feel like this was also around the time where it really started to become like a viable business opportunity for people.
Right.
And this would be around the time too where kids are starting, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And kids are saying like YouTubers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you just said, that is a good segue. So now we're at this point in 2013 where content that we're watching online has fundamentally changed. It's fundamentally evolved from the videos that you knew and loved coming in a way that you expected because you literally signed up to see their new content.
Right.
Obviously, you can still do that.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's becoming easier and easier, I feel, from a viewer experience to kind of sit back and think about the content that you're watching, that you want to watch, I guess I should say, a lot less. And it's a lot more like you open up the YouTube app or go to the webpage, and like you said, you just click on, you're kind of blasted with all these different thumbnails and titles, and then you click on whichever one for whatever reason, usually because it makes you feel a certain type of way, right? And then once you click onto the video itself, you've got recommendations all over the place for other videos.
Yeah, something is constantly trying to get your attention. And I think it's even worse on things like YouTube Shorts and TikTok and Instagram Reels, where it's everything's one swipe away. So they're like, oh, you have to, not only does the video have to be appealing before you get into it, but it's like, if it's not interesting in the first 3 seconds, the barrier to exit is so low that you're like, okay, well, I'm tired of this. I got to look at the next one.
Yeah, exactly. And again, even if and it's AI Slop or like whatever, low quality content, you flick to the next one. And I feel like, at least for me subconsciously, I'm just hoping like the next one is going to give me a chuckle or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you keep going. And then with these platforms with short form content, you really get pulled into the vortex. And next thing you know, you've been on this platform for like hours.
Yeah.
So why are these platforms set up this way, Kingsley, right? Like why did YouTube decide to make this big change? Why did Netflix all the way back in 2006 see the value and the worth of creating an algorithm that's really good at guessing the type of content you want to see and deprioritizing the ability for their user to choose or like have to look for what they want to watch themselves?
Well, I think it's going to make some numbers go up.
Oh, yeah. It's money.
Yeah.
It's all money. So tying this back into this revolting discovery I've made recently about all this like AI slop content, right? For me, I guess I was just thinking like, why?
Yeah.
Like, what is the point? Some of these videos that I see, it's just like, what would possess somebody to make this and upload it anyway?
Yeah.
And I guess one of the major points is it's not really a person making it, right?
I mean, yeah, it's not a person going through the trouble of making the video, but it is a person being like, well, what if I made a video of a dog saving a baby from a plane crash and then pretending that it's an actual news event and uploading it to YouTube? Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's a touching story.
Yeah, no, it would make me sad too.
Theoretically, if it happens.
Yeah.
So it's money, right? So these platforms, Netflix, for example, Netflix shows ads now.
It was just crazy to me.
Which is crazy, but that's a whole nother episode. But even back in the day, like in 2006, 2007, if the service itself was really good at recommending you DVDs that you liked, obviously you would be more incentivized to keep the subscription going because you're constantly satisfied with the content that you're getting.
Right.
And then, right, like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter even, or X now, all of these social media platforms, they have a monetization system for users where if you qualify for monetization, the users who are generating the content get paid for ad views.
Right.
I mean, I think everyone understands that at this point. All of your favorite creators, who do it independently make their money from ads, basically.
Yeah.
Either sponsorships or ads that the service is serving, right? So just using YouTube as an example, YouTube likes creators who keep people watching as long as possible, right?
Right.
Because the longer they watch, the more ads they can see, right? And then the more ads that are served on your content, the more money that the content creator makes, right? So it's like, this is why I personally feel this deluge of AI slop is coming at this point, because we obviously understand the amount of time and work that goes into creating content.
Yeah.
Quality social media content.
Subjective, but yeah.
Yeah, it's art. So if you just generate a ton of AI generated content about things like cats or like cute babies or weird situations like that, that people, even if they know it's AI, it triggers people's want to watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They keep watching it, and it becomes like a quantity over quality approach. So they can just churn this stuff out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And rather than taking the time to craft a video that will keep people watching based on the creative merit of the video, it's just like, literally, if we flood the platform with all of this content, then you're gonna make a payday.
Yeah, I mean, if you make one video that gets 1 million views, that takes 6 months to put together, or you make 1 million videos that get 1 view, but they all took 5 seconds, you get the same amount of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the platforms like YouTube or TikTok, etc., don't have any reason to deprioritize this type of content or discourage it, because people are watching it.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, people are watching it, and then they're serving ads on it. So it's this self-fulfilling prophecy of the monetization of this type of content benefits the creator and the platform. I don't want to be so lob you such a generic question, but how do you feel about this situation we're in? Because we're both content creators, we both love media.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Does it worry you like that?
It's worrisome to me. I guess if we're willing to divorce it from the environmental impact and the plagiarism and the massive potential job losses, or actually current job losses and potential future job losses, and the bottoming or the pulling up of the bottom rung of the career ladder for new people.
Yeah.
If we just ignore all of that
to the side.
all that to the side, it's just I don't know. I feel like the way that it is set up is it's not about making something for the satisfaction of creating it, or for even necessarily conveying information or an emotion. It's we're we're making this content to make money, and I don't really care what it is.
Yeah.
And all I want to do is get the attention of people.
Yeah.
And usually you do that by making them angry or upset, or delivering some kind of misinformation or something.
Exactly.
Or by, just making something that has no, it's just it's slop. It's just stuff that will fill the time. And I think it's just creating a lot of things that are a waste of time, a waste of resources. And I think that I'm gonna go back in my old man corner, but something I noted, or I read about a South Korean studio. That I can't remember the name of.
CJENM.
Oh, okay, CJENM.
Yeah, I pulled this article. You shared the article with me earlier. Yeah, I pulled it up here.
Can you just I guess I'll give a brief overview, and then if there's any corrections, you can let me know. But they are starting this new show, and it's a children's show that's completely AI generated is the goal. So I think they have, instead of hiring a whole team of writers and animators, storyboarders, etc. It's just they have some people doing the prompts, and then the machine makes the stuff. And I think honestly, probably it will make a cartoon for babies that is fine.
Yeah.
But like, one, I think babies deserve content that's more than fine. Two, I think that it's like, all the stuff I said we were divorcing from are real things.
No, they're not.
Yeah. And three, I think it could potentially, maybe not this one in specific, but like the inundation of AI art made for this purpose, I think will introduce a long-term cultural shift away from the appreciation of more focused stuff. Like, I think that the pushback against AI art usually that I hear online is that people are like, oh, people will always crave human-driven and human-created stories. And I do think that that's true.
Yeah.
But the amount of people who will be able to create those stories when it's so easy to make the AI stuff that's acceptable, and the amount of people who are willing to watch a thing that is acceptable rather than something that is excellent or interesting in some way, I think creates a system where, maybe 1 or 2 generations from now, people are like, yeah, I love the slop, and I've never known anything more than the slop, and the slop is good, and that's fine. And honestly, I don't think that that's like a cultural, like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. It makes some sense. Like, if that's the kind of thing that you're into, it's fine, but like, it feels like kind of a waste.
I totally agree. I mean, it makes the number go up, and it does like harken back to this feeling or this epiphany I had earlier of it's like it was this slow boiling of the frog type situation, and I do feel like with everything that you just said, it's kind of like literally the next generation, like boiling the frog of the next generation, where like you just said, now kids are going to grow up with these cartoons like this studio, the Korean studio CJENM. It's called Cat Biggie. But if you look at the, maybe we can put the screenshot up if you're watching the video. I mean, if you just showed me this screenshot and told me like DreamWorks or whatever, a big animation studio is making this new movie, I would believe you.
Yeah.
It looks very cute. It's a big, fluffy, tubby cat with big eyes. And yeah, they've announced that they have 5. You also mentioned like kids becoming more and more accustomed to like short content.
Yeah.
So they've announced that they have 25-minute episodes ready to go.
Yeah.
And they're going to be posting them on YouTube. And then this is kind of like their big litmus test because this entire series was completely AI generated. So they just have a small team of engineers basically developing the AI and prompting it to create this thing. And yeah, like you said, it just creates this situation where content is looked at as a what's the word?
Like it's looked down upon?
It's a commodity, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Rather than, it's a product to be made in the most efficient way possible to make the most money as possible.
Yeah.
And it's hard to fault business doing that because obviously at the end of the day, if it creates, and like unironically, right? Like if it's creating the shareholder value, it's profitable, that's the point at the end of the day. But yeah, the major thing for me that I'm like fascinated, I'm very interested in it, and I'm also slightly terrified of it, is a big part of their system here is that they have an AI agent that they're developing that is, the way that they describe it is that it's like right now in Hollywood, right, there are people that go out there and look for IP that Hollywood studios can adapt. And so this AI agent is responsible for IP discovery. But it's not like, oh, we can buy the rights to this old movie and redo it. It's creating its own IP concepts based on what it thinks audiences are going to want to see.
I see.
So I can totally see how this AI comes up with Cat Biggie, right? Because a lot of the AI slop that you see out there, it's like babies that look like presidents throughout history, or it's like big fluffy cats with big eyes that fall in a pool of water and look sad. It's I know, I'm sorry. But these are the types of content that people watch like all the way through because it plugs into our most primal like feelings, right? And anyway, so now this AI agent is like, oh yeah, like we should make a series of short cartoons called Cat Biggie about a big fluffy cat that gets into antics, and the target audience is for children. But this same studio they've already announced that they're working on AI generated like K-dramas and other AI generated feature films. So they can also, you just feed it all of these concepts of K-dramas throughout the years, which are very popular worldwide now, and it can just pump out like original IP that are slight variations, and then just like poke and prod at the exact type of content that a demographic wants to see.
Yeah.
And
I think that probably within the next, decade or so, there will be a show that is completely generated by AI that I would like sit down and watch and find very compelling.
Yeah.
But as to whether or not that's a good thing, it really depends on, a lot of externalities.
Yeah, and like you said as well, I mean, it's like this, the Deadline article says it's like 6 people working on this, So you go from massive Hollywood-style productions that employ hundreds of people. People dedicate their lives to like the craft of filmmaking. And then, not knocking these guys, nerds, but they're like just sitting there, got them. They're prompting the algorithm and working on it, and they're like stoked about it. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. But anyway, when you sent me this article, because we were talking about this obviously before we started recording, spoiler alert, guys, we talk about the idea for the podcast before we start recording.
It's go ahead and cut that.
Yeah. But you sent me this article and said you thought it would be interesting to talk about on the podcast. And it really does feel like we are coming completely full circle. So we went to the glory days of walking into a Blockbuster Video and deciding what you want to buy, maybe chatting up the store clerk about his recommendations. Like, I like this movie. What do you think I should watch? To the Netflix model where the algorithm is suggesting you liked Princess Mononoke, so you should watch Grave of the Fireflies, which traumatized 7-year-old Tanner.
7?
Yeah. And now we have AI generating concepts that it thinks audiences are going to enjoy watching, and then creating that content themselves, and then feeding it to the audience. So rather than the algorithm feeding you content created by other people that it thinks you're going to want to see, it comes out with its own concept based on what it thinks you're going to want to see. Then it makes it itself. Then it serves it to you itself.
Right.
So, and like you said, I feel people who are very young right now, just like I became accustomed to losing the subscription feed and going on YouTube and just watching whatever it throws at me.
Yeah.
Kids are going to grow up being accustomed to just like all of this hyper micromanaged content.
Like specifically tailored to them or like to their cohort or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like even a K-drama, I'm sure you could get so detailed about the exact specifics of like the dynamic of the relationship, where it's set, is it like crime, is it romance, all of these different, and even within those subgenres, like getting even more micro down. So it could just be like, you can just hit on any little thing that you want. And it makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
So,
and nothing that makes a lot of money could possibly be bad.
Yeah.
The number must go up.
The number has to go up always, at all times. And speaking of being up, our time is up, Kingsley.
Oh, word. Okay. Well,
do you have any closing thoughts?
I guess as far as closing thoughts are concerned, I would say 4 takeaways. If you're watching stuff on the computer, I think a lot of the AI slop is benign, but some of it is meant to trick people. So always be aware, or try to spot, try to pay attention to what you're looking at, and be aware of some of it might be slop that's just, it's a video of a cat being cute, but some of it might be misinformation. So worry about that. And, if you're if you're a person who's pursuing a career that's creative, I would say don't get discouraged about
I thought you were going to say don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll be poor forever. I mean, that might be true. But don't get discouraged because people are always going to want more of that. And also, like, you should be doing it, like, even if you're not doing it for a profit, do it because it, like, you know, feeds your soul or whatever. You might not be able to rent your apartment all the way with it, but you should still pursue it. And, you know, if you can, try to watch something a person made.
Yeah. I mean, Homer never had an apartment, you know what I mean? Homer J. Simpson, no.
Yeah.
The Greek one. Yeah, and just one thing that I've been trying to do more recently is that I've been I just have been becoming more aware of spending a lot of time watching content that I'm not even enjoying.
Oh, yeah.
And so this might sound like simple advice, but there is the little 3-dot menu on the bottom on most of these platforms. Like, you can tell the platforms that you're not interested. You can thumb the content down. Obviously, like, use the search bar, search for the type of content that you are interested in, and then like that content.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to kind of like train your algorithm to serve you the type of content you want to see.
Or you could just watch Number Goes Up
On repeat, over and over again. So, yeah, I don't know. I've been doing that recently, and it works a little bit, but then, of course, you watch one TikTok all the way through, and then it's game over all over again.
Yeah.
So I think it's just important to be an active viewer. And as somebody who's in the media industry, I think this is something, obviously, we're going to be keeping our fingers on the pulse of. And, yeah, AI Slop.
What's for dinner? Dang it. You should have practiced. Bye. Bye.